Roast me, INFP. Go ahead and give me your most creative roast you can come up with. Also, don't use crying and depressed as a roast. This joke is really getting old and I want to see something new, uneasy face. Also, I'd be too lazy to reply, so maybe now, later, next week, next century I'd reply. Honestly, it depends. Anyway, good luck, love.
Why do you guys even bother that much? Their existence is already enough of a roast.
Keep up the good fight. It's only a matter of time until your macrame peace symbols and dances on TikTok make the world a better place.
You're like a grain of sand on this earth, just one in billions. 99,999% of world's population doesn't even know you breathe the very air we all share. Your family and closed ones doesn't care about you or even love you. It's something you never can be sure of because everything's a facade, an illusion. Nothing you do matters in the end. All you have is yourself trapped in a bag contained of blood and piss with your little consciousness sitting atop of your neck. Only your imagination is real, but that would also make you delusional. You're overlooked, cast aside, a shadow, a ghost, a temporary fragile being that could vanish from the earth's existence as easily as an ant getting trampled to death. Poof, you're gone, and no one would care. Life still goes on. Your name, your face, and everything that defines you start fading and you will barely be a memory or history. That's how worthless and unloved you are. Anyways, that's my morning motivation if y'all wondered.
Reading this was almost comforting TBH. Or maybe I'm depressed surprised smiley.
This is exactly my thoughts on life. They are not actually depressing, they are mystical and kinda warming. Life is still the biggest miracle.
Damn bro, that's a very long roast LMAO, not surprised coming from an INTJ. Anyway, I agree with everything you said except that family doesn't care about you part because I'm pretty confident they do. Grinning squinting face. All in all, that was a very good roast and I'm very glad you're feeling motivated.
You're the weakling pussy and more annoying version of INFs, therefore the second option even when it comes to MBTI.
You do realize it's impossible to be more annoying than an Adam.
LMAO, as a any dom I agree, you're funny. You do not want to call an Adams annoying as a roast. They mentally masturbate to being called annoying.
I'll give you a short but classy one. Every sentence you utter carries less meaning than the sum of its parts.
I don't need to roast you, media already does. Zach Galifianakis' character from Hangover? INFP. The bumbling tree frog on BoJack Horseman? INFP. Tina Belcher from Bob's Burgers? INFP. There's no need to roast you when Hollyweird already is. You're all a bunch of Mortys. Basically only good for masking my corrupt ENTP soul while I challenge God.
How does it feel knowing you're going to lose your virginity to a waifu pillow?
You're impossibly average. Your only notable interests are indulging in escapism. Even the pseudoscientific jargon of the MBPT cannot define how underdeveloped and inexperienced you are. Learn to suffer mediocrity with grace because that will be the highlight of your life. No fantasy or creative expression can replace the devoted affection of a loving partner. Your friends will mature, marry, and prioritize their lives over your fiction. What will you be left with?
There's a difference between a roast and a deconstruction. One is a lot funner.
Don't worry, I'm only projecting my own insecurities onto OP. This is why I don't play these games.
You look at everyone else and how they are so irresponsible with what they want, but you yourself choose not to want anything, so you don't risk being irresponsible with what you want. If you do not allow yourself to want anything, if you're stuck in inaction, you have no right to tell or criticize anyone else that they want the wrong thing because you won't even take action yourself. Be wise by allowing yourself to want things by slowly expanding your horizons with your sea child carefully. Otherwise you're going to stagnate. Do this for yourself. That way I can stand the sight of you. That way, I and anyone else actually can respect you. Because if you continue like this, no one will respect you. Also, you have terrible fashion. Also, I can abuse you by saying you're a disloyal person. Feel free to roast back. Please don't take this personally, hee hee.
I'm honestly really worried about saying something too hurtful, but the prospect of getting to cast some vicious mockeries is pretty appealing. I hope you'll take these with a grain of salt. Indulging your interests is not an excuse for a personality, even if it's the closest thing you've got. The characters you love can't love you back. Escapism only works for so long, eventually your brain gets tired of chewing through different flavors of the same media and stops rewarding you for it. Then you'll notice that you're alone in a room. Although I can fully understand that you want to escape from the inside of your head. Numbness is not an emotion. You seem like the type of INTP who could jump off the top of your ego and have enough time to write a whole unbiased and logical opinion piece before crashing into the roof of your intellect. I can see why you choose to avoid socializing. Honestly, I don't see much roastable material here, and you sound like a chill dude. However, from my experience, I feel like people like you tend to overcompensate for their insecurity about not having rich social life and their rejection wound by acting overly logical and trying to show off how smart/unique they are. They actually have a chance for building friendships and relationships, but the superiority complex they developed during all those years spent alone makes them annoying and unlikable. This makes them competitive and argumentative, and they like to make other people feel small and dumb. High IQ and unique interests are great, but I hate it when people are being dicks because those are the main, if not only traits going for them. Teasing someone for being irrational, not knowing something, or liking basic stuff doesn't make you an interesting person. It makes you an annoying prick. And just because you value logic over everything else doesn't make you the smartest person in the room either. Obviously, those are just random assumptions based on few lines you delivered. But that's my general experience with darker side of T users. Every time I talk with any of you, I feel like you base your self-worth around your intelligence. But guess what? You are already worthy of love without that. I don't know if this will apply to you, but I've been dying to tell this to a thinker once, so thank you for this post, lol.
Unable to accept any criticism whatsoever, even genuine criticism with well-meaning intent. Think of like a time when a friend of yours was doing something that could potentially harm them long-term and you care about their welfare and don't want to see that happen. And unhealthy? INFP will not accept any criticism whatsoever. They want complete freedom of movement, even to the point of retardation when it doesn't make sense anymore for their lives. Even things like doing drugs/getting into terrible abusive relationships. They will not listen to you no matter how long you've been friends with them in my experience. You will likely to be brushed off as being controlling and denied completely. This really hurts to be shut out in this way. You have to walk on eggshells constantly around them. Makes the same mistakes over and over again. Since they live in La La Land a lot of the time, you will find that they repeat the same patterns over and over again, same mistakes over and over. They live in this strange perpetual feisty cycle. These are the people who will keep going back into horrible relationships with exes, or keep doing self-destructive things like drugs or alcohol. While I sympathize with anybody who is an addict, that's not really what I'm talking about here. It's more that they can't see their lives outside themselves in an objective way. Anything unpleasant isn't allowed to be brought up or talked about at all in any way whatsoever. Life is wonderful to them. Unicorns, rainbows, everything is wonderful. That horrible person isn't that bad, he's just a misguided person who needs love and acceptance, bro. Being open-minded means they can invite any predator into their lives, and since they see everything in a warped way, they are prime prey for any horrible person to take advantage of. Again, this is very tiring to deal with if you care about them at all. Eventually you just want to give up on them and let them drown. Though they hate being controlled and told what to do, when they are in a bad situation they come running to you for advice and help/protection, even if they called you an asshole before for trying to tell them what to do and control them. Again, these patterns repeat over and over again. Very tiring, and eventually you just want to give up on the friendship/relationship.
Nice, you've made it till the end. Subscribe because I know you're an INFP too.